What's up, Bears fans? It's your boy Coach T with Chicago Bears 360 back with another live recording of the show for you today. Listen, I know it's a Monday. I know it's not Tuesday. Coach T, you slid one in on us. Yep, I'm trying to get as much content in before I hit the road and head down to Mobile for the Senior Bowl as possible. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to get as much content as possible because I'm gonna miss Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So yeah, man, why not? Let's have a conversation. We got guests joining the show. My guy Steve-O, Southside Steve-O in the building. So much more. We're going to talk about lessons learned from the Detroit Lions catastrophe. I think there's some lessons in there that we can learn as Bears fans, as a Bears organization. That and so much more. Y'all tap in. Do me a favor, run them likes up, subscribe as you watch this on the playback. Also, subscribe to the channel. It's Chicago Bears 360 with Coach T and Southside Steve-O. I got to give him the plug. Y'all know what's next. Cue the intro, Maestro. Let's go. Contra.
Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence. On the road to them Benjis, I fill my teeth with diamonds. I'm high as fuck in the sky, you would've thought I'm pilot. I'm from Chicago, it get ugly, fill the streets with violence. Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence.
Past, present, future. We bear down.
And just like that, we're back. Coach T and Steve-O in the building. We already got some familiar faces in the chat. My man, where goes one, Cornelius Sales, Yada in the chat. What up, fellas? What up, Steve-O, man? How you doing, bro? I ain't talked to you in a minute. What's going on with you?
Yeah, man, it's good. How you?
Man, chilling, man. Out here trying to, live these Bears DIY media in these Bears DIY media streets, man. Trying to keep it, want to keep it sane, man. You know what it goes, man. So, Steve-O, I was thinking today, man, after, scrolling through, Twitter, X, whatever we call it today, man. I thought something was interesting, right? I thought Dan Campbell's response to his team, his quote to his team, was pretty interesting, right? I think a lot of people were confused by the message. And as I thought about it more and dove deep into it, my mind likes to get real analytical. I thought people missed the message, but as I thought about it more, I thought there is more to the conversation that meets the eye. I think there's some lessons learned we can glean from. And I don't know if this is an exact quote, but he said something to the nature of his team, to his team after that epic collapse in yesterday's game. You know what I'm saying? By the Detroit Lions. Shout out to my guy, Don Bird. I know he's going to check in at some point. You know what I'm saying? Let my ADD kick in for a minute. I ain't got ADD, but I'm just going to call it that. Speaking of Don Bird, I saw Don Bird get a shout out on several podcasts today for being Don Bird, for being the person that he is, being the de facto Bears DIY media representative of the Detroit Lions. And I thought to myself, there's the coach side of me, but that's also the business man side of me. Don Bird, I'm just going to put something out to you, bro. I don't know what you got going on in life, bro, but listen, if you don't start some kind of platform and capitalize on all of the platforms that call your name out, I don't know what you're doing. Like, what is you doing?
Literally.
The kind of attention that you get, free marketing that you get on these podcasts from Bears Podcast. I want to put that out there, but Dan Campbell's statement to his team, man, said something to the nature of this might be our best shot. And I think a lot of fans, Detroit fans, Chicago fans, football fans, period, might have been confused by that. So I want to add some context to it, but also want to talk about some of our lessons learned, some lessons we can learn from the Detroit debacle. How did you feel about how the game went yesterday, Steve-O? Like, did you really believe that they were going to finish out the game?
No. Because I just knowing the DNA of this team, knowing the DNA of this coach, I just like it's gonna be a call. In the back, I didn't say it. I don't. When it comes to big games, I normally don't like put it out there, but I always have these thoughts in my head, and I'm like, doing all these all these times, all these experience of the times we got on him during these seasons. I was like, it's gonna come one of these games where you should have took that three instead of went for it. I know that's who you are. I know that's what you are, and I understand what it is, but like you got to also understand the team that you got as well. Like this is an all-around good team.
Right.
It's an all-around good team. There is no really phase of the game. Maybe you can argue that the offense is elite, but to me, they're not. There's no really elite part of this game. You don't really have an elite D line. You have a good D line. Maybe your only elite thing I would say is possibly your O line. I would give them that. But besides that, I knew for one, the way you was playing, the way you came out, that was the type of gameplay, that's the type of style you wanted to do. But you can't leave no room, no errors for a team like this, which you're going against. You can't leave Kyle Shanahan any breathing room because he didn't been in every situation, and he knew he had a solid plan of how to stop what y'all was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like not necessarily there was going to be a call per of X's nose that was going to mess it up. I felt it was going to be a call versus should we do this or should we not?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what it came down to because to me, I'm also an Oregon fan. I feel like the coach we got there is like the young version of him. So
Wow.
I knew what we dealt with this year. I was like, what happened to Oregon is going to happen to him.
Right.
And that's what happened.
Besides of the fact of the old saying, Detroit is going to Detroit. I had a little bit of a flashback, Steve-O. Flashback to 2012, right? 50 years of high school coach. That year, we had Bruce Hector on the team. We had Byron Pringle on the team. We had in our division, we had Lakewood. Lakewood High School, St. Pete, Florida, had Isaiah Wynn. They had the Griffin twins, Shaquille and Shaquem. They had Rodney Harrison, who played for the Bears for a little while. And then wide receiver, Rodney Harrison played for Minnesota Vikings and Chicago Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had him on that team. They had about 11 NFLers on that team. We're in the playoffs. We beat them twice. We beat them in the regular season. We beat them in the playoffs. We go on to play. We're going to play and host at home Tallahassee Godby High School up in Tallahassee. We host them. We're up at halftime. I want to say the score was 24 or 27 to 12 or 14. And shout out to my mentor. I ain't gonna call his name, put him on blast like that because I love the dude. But he was the offensive coordinator, my mentor. And I think probably right before the playoffs, we installed zone read, right?
I remember this story.
A lot of people wonder what my perspective on zone read RPO offense comes from. It comes from this PTSD I have related to the subject. We're one game away from the state championship game. This is the state semifinal. Tallahassee Godby. It's probably still on the internet. It's probably still clips of that season, 2012, Robinson High School. You're probably gonna see clips of me out there. We had a badass team. There's nobody in the state of Florida we couldn't beat that year. I promise you, on everything I love. We go into halftime up 24-12, 27-14, something like that. We're celebrating. I get this eerie feeling that something is just not going to go right. We got guys standing in the back of trucks, because we got the fans, going into halftime and like patting them on the back. We got guys jumping in the back of trucks, celebrating ahead of time. Oh, they always think we're going to the state. That was one thing that kind of happened and went wrong that I was just like, something ain't right. So I'm yelling at players, get down. Nothing. We ain't done nothing. Get down. But in that game, our offense featured a very strong gap power run system. Our power play was was undefeated. There's nobody in the state of Florida that could stop it. But we installed zone read right before the playoffs began. We ran the shit out of zone read during the playoffs. Nobody could stop it.
Uh-huh.
Tallahassee Gobby walks the safety down into the box and assigns him to our quarterback. So they're smashing the running back on the fake, on the give, and on the keep. They're slapping the quarterback every play.
Right.
And we didn't install the RPO. So y'all wonder where my perspective comes from. We hadn't installed any RPOs that I remember. This is 11 years ago, 12 years ago, that I remember. Long story short, Tallahassee guy comes back, beat us 27. I think it's 27-24. Comes back, beat us 27-24, and we miss out on the state championship run. We would have been gods.
Right.
We would have, I'm telling you, in Hillsborough County, Tampa, Florida, we would have been gods. We would have been gods. We would have been crowned state champion. Nobody had won a state championship in the area in about 5 or 6 years. We would have been immortal in South Tampa. There's no door that you probably couldn't have walked in. Nobody would have bought you a beer. No store you could have went in. Nobody gave you a discount. I say all that to say this, man. I thought during that game, rather than us doing what got us there the whole time, and that was a simple thing to do, in that situation, coach overcoached the game. He outcoached himself. Right?
I
Years
said that
later,
to my Bob this morning.
the game of football coaches itself. If you feel, that's why I'm always talking about feeling the game, Steve-O. When you feel the game as a play caller or as a coach, you have to be able to feel the game. And as a play caller, you don't force the game to do what you want it to do. You feel the game and respond accordingly. Like I'll give you another example. The Ravens game versus Kansas City. I felt like Todd Monken tried to force Lamar Jackson
To pass.
to be a passing quarterback per se. When right after the defense is getting all these stops, Todd, all you got to do is run the ball, run play action. You have to give this defense two things to think about, both the run and the pass. But they dropped back and tried to throw the ball, throw all those deep passes, and
The whole game.
got to do something. You don't do well. You don't do that. The game calls itself. And you feel the game and you respond accordingly based off your call sheet. So if your running backs don't get more than 6 carries, then you could drive the ball down the field and score.
Coach, I think I was more frustrated with that game than this game. I was way more frustrated with that game than this game. Because I woke up this morning, I was like, I gotta watch that game again. Because it was just weird to me. So I was like, tell me about tripping. Todd Bucket put on Luke Getsy.
No, stop. So pause. Go back to I admonish anybody to do this. Go back to my Luke Getsy versus Todd Monken head-to-head video that I did a few months ago when I compared their first 15. And please tell me, clip it up for me and send it to me and ask me why I got frustrated while watching the tape and say, hold on a second, bro. Because I was looking at how they chose to attack Detroit. And I said, hold on a second, bro. This dude is doing a lot of same thing that Luke is doing. Like you're relying on the athleticism of Lamar too much, right? And I think with running quarterbacks, that's a trap for OCs. Like, hey, I'm just gonna call a pass play. If it break down,
get out of it.
Make magic happen, right? So you're not tripping on that. I'm gonna let you finish.
But yeah, like that's my thing. So I was just watching that and I was like, I feel like they just completely went away from their strength. Like, what got him there? Like, what got you there was your running game, and to sit there and to look across from the field and they run the ball 32 times to your 16. Like I text you this morning, that's blasphemous in my opinion. But this game, it like you said, like I felt like Dan should have had the flashback you just had.
Yeah,
he should have had the flashback to what was it, the Philly game?
He had plenty of games to learn from.
Like so many games, so many games where
not the time.
This is not the time to do it.
The game, let the game call itself. Send the field goal unit out there, coach. Send the field goal.
And that's when I
points in a big opportunity in a big game. You never. I could see you go out there and send the field goal unit out there and they miss it. That's one thing, but to not take the points and to lose by 3 is crazy. Crazy when the team hasn't been there in 30-something years. But back to the point, I think what Dan was trying to say, people who are emotionally, let's call it emotionally deficient. I used the word on Twitter the other day. I had to apologize for emotionally respond to his post like, oh my God, how could you say that to your team? Listen, one, I think the message that Dan was trying to send was a message that, hey, getting here was hard. Coming back is going to be even harder. So if you're just content with having made it to this NFC Championship game, you think getting here was hard, getting back is harder, because the way the NFL designs the schedule is you're going to have a tougher schedule because you made it further, right? That's just the nature of the beast, right? And then you add on to it, and I'm not going to go all the way down the road, and all of the free agencies they have in the Detroit Lions on that squad, and add to the fact that you already have both of your coordinators getting head coaching interviews. There's going to be major turnover, right? But the other part, the part I want to focus on for lessons learned for this, right? And I'm not trying to spin this into a Justin Williams, Caleb. I keep saying Justin Williams. It's probably the best case scenario for Bears fans. Right? Me being a peace, whatever guy. Justin Williams is probably the choice for us. No.
Right.
I'm not trying to turn this to Justin Fields, Caleb Williams conversation, but this. I will say this. There's something to be learned from Brad Holmes throughout this process for Ryan Poles, because a lot of us didn't understand that. They didn't understand Brad Holmes swinging for the fences this year in selecting Jahmyr Gibbs and I think Laporta he got this year, right? I didn't. On draft night, I was laughing at the
Branch.
What are y'all doing, bro? Because I didn't think they were there yet. I thought, listen, you missed, correct me if I'm wrong, they missed the playoffs last year, right?
Yeah, they did.
Barely missed the playoffs last year. So in my mind, okay, you barely missed the playoffs last year. I'm thinking you got one more, you better get some core pieces draft in so you can make your deep playoff run, and then you swing for the fences. What's your response to that? Am I going crazy right there? I'm open. This is a conjecture conversation. This is a open debate. This is not schematics. I'm playing with the GM right here.
Yeah, I mean, I almost seem like that's kind of like hindsight, because it's like they could have felt, because like you said, they was this close from making the playoffs, so they probably felt like we're just missing a couple pieces away. We might not be missing a major pieces. Maybe what we're adding on to this can get us there, and eventually, and actually in reality, it got you there. So like I think they was more thinking that if I'm in their mind frame, to me that draft that they made was with Gibbs, Branch, Laporta, and the other guy. It was more of a like they was thinking of right now in terms of next season. They wasn't really necessarily thinking seasons ahead. That's what my mindset, because I laughed at it too.
Thinking about 2024-25 season, not this season that they would make a run this year.
No, I think they was thinking about like next year. Like I think they like
Next year,
these
this
dudes
is
will
coming
help.
up season, right?
This, like the season they just got done. This
Okay,
season,
okay, okay.
I
That's
think
and
they was.
that's kind of
Yeah, I
my
think.
point, right? So that's kind of
Yeah,
my point. So going to that draft, and that's what I agree with you that they were thinking probably we don't need this XYZ. We're
yeah,
swinging for the fences right here, right?
yeah.
Philosophically, I believe I could be wrong, but I believe Ryan Poles philosophically is doesn't think the same way as Brad's home in this way, right? And I think
Right.
this can be a lessons learned for both Bears fans and Ryan Poles, right? About the philosophy of draft, trading back, when to take your swing. And I've said this for weeks. I believe. Okay, what question? What makes one of the things make me question that decision is you made your swing. You took your swing with rookies.
True.
You took your one of those rookies cost you a turnover during this game.
Yeah.
I don't remember Laporta's name being called a whole bunch last night.
Not really.
Okay. I don't know who the other rookie was.
Branch had a solid night.
Okay. So I'm just pointing out some things, right?
Yeah.
So you took your swing to get you over the edge with a bunch of rookies. This is what I've been leery of for Bears fans when I talk about forget the Justin Caleb debate. It's a residual of the bigger conversation, right? It's a fall off of the conversation about the philosophy of trade back and continue to build this roster or draft a quarterback. It just so happens to be part of the conversation. But when you talk about philosophy and building a team, I said this all season. I really believe Ryan Poles, if he wants to build a perennial Super Bowl contender like the New England Patriots of old, like the, dare I say, the team up north of us, of old, not this current version. But you can argue that they had about 4 or 5 years of fall off and they hop right back into their system of doing things and they're going to have their name mentioned in the conversations moving forward. What I'm saying is this. This is the short way of saying what I'm trying to say. I think what Brad Holmes did was swing too early. And that's the lesson Ryan Poles can learn. And it's not just swinging too early, timing is everything. And it's the type of swing you take. Right. So here you go. I'll let you respond to
He
the
went for a straight power swing.
Yeah. He exactly. He fastball up the
Power.
middle. I'm swinging for the fences right now. And this is what I think Ryan Poles can avoid possibly if he continues to trade back and build this roster and own this draft. I don't believe this is the year to swing because we didn't make the playoffs this year. But I think we're in a little bit better position in the Lions because we go 7-10. We don't make the playoffs. But if you trade back, build this roster, and make a first or second round exit in the playoffs next year, then possibly take your swing in the 25-26 season, right? Timing is everything, right? So take your swing in 25-26, but watch this, Steve-O. Here's the add-on. Because this is what makes all this kind of go, is that you're taking rookies and you're being very selective about how you and when you sign free agents because you have to keep the books clean. So take your swing next year, but watch this, Steve-O. Don't take your swing with rookies. Take your swing with free agents, vets that you know. Don't get a Jahmyr Gibbs. Go get a running back that has some playoff experience. Think about Bill Belichick. The 1-year contracts that he was doing in New England, he didn't go get guys that didn't have any experience. Let me bring in a Randy Moss. Let me bring
go get a
in.
blood.
Go ahead. Go get me the guy. What's the guy on the pivot that ran for Bill, played running back for him? Fred Taylor. Go get me Fred Taylor. Go get me guys like that been there, done that before. These are guys that's been played in the league. They've established themselves. They just trying to get a Super Bowl ring before they get out of here.
Yeah, like I think also I feel like they fell into a bit of just the dangers that you run into when you hire and get a coach of his caliber. When you
Right.
get a coach that's a great speaker, great motivator, and also on top of that, you draft and you grab players with the same DNA, it can almost trick you into believing, oh, we got a shot at this.
Right.
Because if you listen to that locker room, you listen to Dan talk alongside with players like a CJ with a Panay Sewell, like you be like, oh yeah, they in the locker room, we got this. And when you hear that, you fall into the dangers of being like, okay, maybe yeah, we did fall a little short. We was a little bit away, but if we played the right way, we can make that swing. So yeah, let's make this swing. Let's get them some more rookie help now, and let's try to make that swing. And that's my thing. I agree with you as well. Like, I've never been the type of player to make like you can make swings with certain rookies in there that will come in and help immediately.
Yeah,
But
no freezing going on. Just letting you know.
me,
No, both of us. We both
oh,
you
okay.
got the audio. I'm gonna
Yeah,
take
I
it.
hear
Let me see. I won't have these issues. Well, thanks hanging out with us anyway. But the point I was trying to make, Steve, before is
you so rudely interrupted.
right. Yeah, janky internet. Is we have to timing is everything from when we swing, right? I'm not having a conversation about the quarterback situation. It is what it is, right? So Bears fans have to decide this. This is the part that is a part of that conversation that they're gonna have to decide. We're talking about business, not business. Bears fans have to decide this. Do we want to go to a Super Bowl? Do we want to make a singular playoff run? Do we want to go to Super Bowl? Or do we want to be a contender year in and year out in this NFL? That's why I'm making this. That's what this conversation is about. That's what this show is about. That's what this conversation is about. Do you want to be a perennial contender year after year? Do you want to be one of the model franchises of the NFL? Because if you do, there's a path to that. That's called ignoring this whole quarterback situation. No, ignore Caleb Williams, ignore Justin Fields. And this simplifies it for Ryan Post, has to realize I am building a championship organization franchise that's going to compete year in, year out. Regardless of if I keep Justin Fields or not, if Justin Fields does not work out and I continue to trade back and guess what? There's always going to be a new guy. There's always going to be a transcendent generational talent coming out because guess what? Pee Wee football is not going to stop manufacturing kids. Youth league is not going to stop manufacturing kids. High school is not going to stop manufacturing kids. And the college ranks is not going to stop manufacturing kids. That is a fact. Matter of fact, if you just look 1 year forward, there's a kid in Colorado right now by the name of Shedeur Sanders that probably is going to come out as probably one of the top quarterback prospects that we've heard and or of in recent years. And he's going to come out with all the hype just next year. Where the lies?
Hey, coach, I was about to go. I could go just as far. I could go to a kid in high school right now. I don't know if you know the kid, but he's listed as probably the best quarterback. I forget what year he's coming out. I'm trying to look it up real quick. But his name is Julian Lewis. I guarantee you, and I want you to book it. I guarantee you they're going to be calling him Caleb in the next few years.
By the way, shout out to my guy. He ain't my guy, but he's in the state. I don't know him, but I follow him on TikTok. His name is Rico Knows. And Rico stays tapped into these young high schools. So I got a little system that I, work with behind the scenes. I got my high school guy, right? I'm looking for a definitive college guy that always has his eye on these guys. So I got a high school guy. I'm looking for a go-to college guy that I can go to his channel and watch out and I can see who's coming. And then we got the pros covered as far as the Bears, the league, all that stuff. But to your point, just like that, Julian Lewis. How about this? Archie Manning.
Archie Manning, right?
I don't know how Archie's going to, but let's put it out there. If Archie puts on a show at Texas when he takes over the realm there, takes over the signal calling there, book it. Book it. Y'all know he coming with the hype. Y'all know, but you could potentially, I don't know what class Archie is, but I could be way off with this. But I'm just saying, hypothetically, what if Archie Manning and Shedeur Sanders were coming out at the same time in the same year? That'd be crazy. I know they're not in the same class.
Yeah, that'd be.
Shedeur's probably going to come out after next year, and then Archie the year after that. My point is, you have to continue to build a team and not hyper focus on these quarterbacks. If we want to win year after year as a Bears organization, continue to build a team, right? And even us that support and love Justin, right? And think we should continue to go with him, not without warrant. If he turns out to be our Alex Smith, if he turns out to be just a good quarterback that holds down the fort, until sorry, I almost had a Freudian slippage there. Until our Mahomes comes along and you done built this roster up, what's the problem with that?
You know what it is, Coach? I think a lot of people, what's it called? FOMO?
FOMO, fear of missing out.
They have FOMO, but it's also just they want what others have. And they see and they get so caught up because I've heard it all the time. Like you hear it all the time. I want a $4,000. I want a 4,000-yard passer. I want a guy that can throw it all over the field. It's the new era. Why we can't get that? And I'm like, bro, I don't care what quarterback can he win?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I think a lot of people are getting away from. I don't care what these dudes can do. I don't care if they can throw it 70 miles per hour down the field. I don't care. When it comes down to it, can he win? And I think that's the thing we're going against. And that's the thing that's difference between a Poles and the dude that's in Detroit. He's always thinking, especially about the situation he just came from. They're looking like the new quote unquote Patriots of the league because they're constantly there, but they have a system.
Right.
And the system is built through the draft. Right. And he said that so many times, and that's the thing that gets on my nerve when people be like, well, yeah, he's Post said that, but that's just GM talk. No, this ain't just GM talk.
Even if it was GM talk, what has he done? What has he done?
Right, Coach. What Poe has said up to this point, he hasn't lied.
Right.
Everything, if his DNA is on it, is basically what he said.
Yeah. And
so
I don't admit he glitched on the whole. He glitched on the whole Chase Claypool thing, but I'm not going. Yeah, you trying to take care of your quarterback in that situation, and okay,
that's my thing. My whole thing, they would have been tripping if they didn't give him nothing. They would have been tripping.
Right. But
it was his fault.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying it was his fault that he didn't look into the mental side of the game. Right. Because that's another thing about Post. He is very big into the mental, and he does test you. I feel like he didn't do that. He's seen measurables. He's seen what he did when he had Big Ben and said, okay, if I could get him here, I think that could help Justin. Instead of realizing who he had over there along with the coach and Big Ben, it's a little bit different versus Justin and Luke and Flus at the time. It's way more different. So it's kind of hard to bring in those dudes that don't have the experience to deal with somebody like that. Maybe they never experienced somebody like that because we all know he's a polarizing figure outside the game of football. Right. So you have to be ready to manage that. But that's where I feel like his fault was. His fault wasn't he saw talent and was like, let me gamble for it. That's anything is a gamble in this league. It was just his fault. He didn't do his homework.
Yeah, let me swing. Let me take a swing trying to get a guy. Maybe we can do a little bit better. We got to let him hold that L on that one. I'm not taking that away from him, but outside of that, he stuck to his guns, continues to build towards the draft. It's not a conversation about Justin Fields or Caleb Williams. It's about the Chicago Bears. And if we're going to have a genuine, intellectually honest conversation about this football team and what we really want, right? Because guess what? Here's the thing about the league, all this stuff, right? And what I know about football, period, right? And I've had to learn this over the years because even on a micro level, on a nuance level, when you're coaching, you're playing, you get caught up in the week to week, game to game, play to play part of football. And on a macro level, you realize something, right? Only one team wins the championship at the end of the year.
Right.
Right. And then the clock resets and we got to do it all over again. So the only thing that lasts is what you build. The only thing at this age for me, I hear a lot of DIY media talk about, I want to get one. I want to get a Super Bowl. I want the Bears to win the Super Bowl before I die. Y'all need to get some priorities in y'all life, first of all, and start. Bro, if that is your thing, I get it. Trust me, I get it. But
right.
Listen, I want to be able to play with my grandkids and great grandkids. I want to, you know what I'm saying? I got other stuff. Yeah, the Bears winning the Super Bowl, maybe because I've seen one in my lifetime, I got a different perspective. But
yeah, that's a big. It's really a big perspective. Yeah,
go touch some grass, bro. Like that's crazy. But you know what I'm saying? I get it, but I don't. Either way, This is what I'm saying. What I would prefer to do is I would prefer to be having this conversation with Steve O. I see my guy Bishop in the chat. I see Hair Bear in the chat. I see Yada. I would rather be coming on the platform having a conversation about us kicking ass year after year after year after year. I want us to be the Patriots. I want us to be. Never mind. I'm not saying that. I can't let it come out my mouth.
You can say the Chiefs. You can say the Chiefs instead of them.
I want us to be the Chiefs. There you go. You know what I'm saying? I was starting to think about that other thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the stanky mug. Yeah,
Rebuke me on that one. Yeah.
Right.
Mouth. It was wrong. I almost choked on my own vomit. Listen, I want us to be there year after year after year, man. Pittsburgh. Come on, man. Mm-hmm. We are the franchise. We are one of the cornerstone franchises of the league. And why can't we be there year after year after year? Let's back away from the Caleb and Justin talk. Continue to build this roster. If it doesn't work out with Justin, we will ride that contract until we can't ride it no more and be like, all right, bro, it was nice. Appreciate you holding down the fort. Next.
Yeah. And I had this conversation at the space today, and I just didn't agree with them. I'm pretty sure some are watching. This ain't no diss, so don't start tripping. I know how some of y'all get, but they was like, yeah, we miss on this guy, and Justin's not the guy after the next few years. We're effed. And I was like, what makes you think we're so effed? I'm like, if anything, if we get Caleb and it don't work, we're effed. That's when we're effed at, because we're not going to get the same.
Steve over here dropping nuggets, but I was trying to stay away from it. Listen, this is what I like to do. I like to serve the dish and let y'all eat. This is, try to be thought provoking, but also try to let y'all practice, let y'all put the inference in the practice, bro. I want to serve the food and let y'all eat. Do you want to be a flash in the pan football team that makes a year or two run, or do you want to be a perennial contender? I want to be a contender. I'm greedy. From a business perspective, anybody in my family that tells you anything about me, about how I manage my business, my life, my wife, my kids, my wife will tell you this fool gets on my nerves, because when I ask him what does he want out of life, ask my wife what I respond with. I want it all.
Everything. I
want it all, dog. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? I can't stand to have people around me. It's a personal pet peeve of mine for my life to have people around me that settle for less than, mediocre from the standpoint of you're not trying to get it all. You're not trying to rule it. I want to dominate. I want to dominate life. I'm only given a finite amount of time to live this life. I want me to have it. I want my wife to have it. I want my kids to have it. I want my grandkids to have it. I want us all to have it. I want to sit on the 100 section for the Chicago Bears until God called me home without any issues. I want to fly first class. I want to take 2 vacations every year. I want to drive a car that's paid for. I want to live in at least 3,000 square feet on an acre of land. That's just what it is. I don't know what it is. I can't be around people that's okay with mediocre in the sense of I'm not striving to dominate. And that's what I look for with this football team. I don't just want to dominate for a game or half of a season or a playoff run. I want to smack the shit. I'm going to say it like I feel it. I want to smack the shit out of Green Bay every year until, you know what I'm saying? You bury me with some kind of mannequin and my hand right here and the Green Bay Packer fans face right there, and I'm just real back like this, smacking the shit out of them.
For real, like that's how I am. I remember I don't remember I was in the space, and once again, and we was talking about dynasties and stuff, and I don't know how we got on it. I was like, so you want to end up like the Rams? Well, I think somebody was like, well, at least they got one. I'm like, I don't just want one.
Pause right there. You just hit a pet peeve of mine in life right there, Steve-O.
I hate that, bro.
What was the first 2 words in their response? I'm finna give y'all some life nuggets right here. This is just not Coach T, Chicago Bears 3-6 Coach T. I'm finna preach right here because this is my pet peeve in life. What was the first 2 words of their response when you told them about the Rams?
But
you said, okay, at what? At least.
Oh, yeah, they said at least, yeah.
Listen to me. Let me pull this mic closer because I wish I had some church music to put in the background queued up right here.
Hey, I got the organ on my phone.
So I need that preaching chord. I need preaching chords right here. I need preaching chords right here. Tune me up in E flat.
Not the E flat.
E flat. I need to go to E flat right here. Musician, minister of music. I need to go to E flat. Listen, when people start sentences with at least, that's in your inner circle. I need you to get rid of them people. I tell you what, I got something for this statement right here. I'm gonna drop some life nuggets for you. I'm dropping a bomb for you. You got people in your inner circle that start sentences with at least. I don't want them people around me, dog. I'm telling you. At least you're starting out with the least, the minimum. The minimum is this. That is your target. No, at least nothing.
All right.
No cap, Steve-O. I was dating this girl after I got divorced in 2014. I started dating this girl in 2015, and bro, she said that all the time.
Couldn't do it.
You need to learn how to be more. Listen. You need to learn how to be more great. I get that. I get that part of being grateful and practicing gratitude. I do all that. But there's a rare percentage of people in life that, you know what I'm saying, they just dogs about life. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where I got it. I don't know if it came from being in the Marine Corps, whatever. She just kept saying, well, at least you got this and that. Well, at least you got this. And then I looked around one day and realized, shit, I built this. You hanging out. You know what I'm saying? I got this house without you. I got my BMW without you. I got my SUV without you. You came in and you
added on.
Go ahead.
You the cherry on top.
You hanging on. You a hanger on her. Talking about the at least.
A hanger order.
Yes. Yeah, you a dingleberry. You hanging out.
Wow.
Listen, we're talking about at least because guess what? You didn't have to put in the work I had to put in to get here. You weren't at Marine Corps boot camp with me going through my process. You wasn't at going through on active duty, going through college. You didn't get all 5 and 7 of my IT certifications with me. You showed up because I thought you was cute and you here just hanging out. No, not at least, bro. Go out there and get it, bro. We want to dominate. We want to
Mhm.
dominate. We want to be the perennial leader in this division. We want people to look up at us and say, uh, yeah, no, they did that. They did that. Right. And I think Ryan Poles is addressing it and looking at it the same way. I think people, and I don't want to make this as an age thing because I know it doesn't just break down to age, but I think, you know what I'm saying, the instant gratification aspect of this and the now, here and now, without having long term vision, prevents a lot of people in life from having long term sustainable success, right?
Mhm.
There,
Going for the right now, which is the heavily favored quarterback, will be you're being a little reckless with your cream. Now, it could possibly wreck the game that you're trying to play, which is the league, or you can wreck your organization because you was too free. You didn't do it the right way, and it's all about doing it the right way.
I see, I hear where you're going with that, but I think I'm not trying to cancel out what you said, so forgive the but. But I think also a way to do it is give them the spectrum of the possibilities of what could possibly happen, right?
Yeah.
You go with okay, go with quarterback A. Quarterback A is Caleb Williams. Um, think about the status of your football team. Oh, this is a part of the conversation that I didn't talk about. Glad you brought that up because going with quarterback A, Caleb Williams, think about how you have to build this football team now.
Mm-hmm.
If you go with Caleb, yes, you got a quarterback on a rookie contract, but watch this. You got a guy on a rookie contract, but how do you build your football team now? Where is the majority of your dogs are going to come from? Any football team that's a dominant football team needs about four, four to four or five blue chip players on both sides of the ball,
Yeah.
right? So ask yourself this question: are we there yet?
No.
4 or 5 blue chippers on the ball. Okay,
Let's break it down real quick. If we're talking about, let's just put him. I'm not saying he is, but let's just, for the sake of argument, put him in. Caleb is the blue chip, and we possibly have an injured Tevin that's a injury prone Tevin that's a blue chip, right? DJ, that's 4, not enough.
okay,
Defense,
that's okay. That's offense. Let's go. Let's
right?
go. We calling it out. So I'm getting you. So the four on each side of the ball comes from Sean McVay saying that he said on Hard Knocks a few years ago, where he says about 4 to 6 to 8 players on any one team is system agnostic. Those are the guys that's your dog. So you call out 3.5. I heard 3.5. If you hold on, the assumption is Caleb. That's, you got to say that part.
Yeah, that's
The
the assumption.
assumption is Caleb would be one if properly developed. He doesn't get off the bus. Let's be real. He doesn't get off the bus as a blue chipper. He needs work. He needs development. He needs to be trained how to. He's going to need some ramping up in experience of reading defenses and playing within structure. Y'all can say what y'all want about that. Y'all can agree with it or not. On this platform, I told y'all we do it by the schematics, and everything I watched on film says the playing and structure part of it is not him going out and throwing down one post in the game. I'm saying the film that I've watched is the brother is a good athlete, a good college athlete that plays in a high RPO system that needs more time on task at reading NFL defenses, playing within the NFL structure. These are facts. Argue with whoever.
Because how many coverages you think he gonna see his first year versus he's seeing now?
Like I said, argue with him. These are facts. What Steve is saying is facts, right? You're not going to be able to throw RPOs at a 75, 80% clip in the NFL. You're not getting away with that. So you're going to have to ramp up. That's why I picked Jaden Daniels as my number one ready to play quarterback right now. Because Jaden, when he drops back right now, at a 90% clip. Those passes are NFL reads, right? So
Every throw almost.
going back to our conversation about blue chippers, you can't get off the bus and assume Caleb Williams, but also let's assume he makes that climb.
Mhm.
Caleb in 2 or 3 years, this is reality. 2 or 3 years, Caleb, Tevin, I don't know, question mark. These are not exclamation marks. These are question marks. Darnell Wright, second year.
In the call.
People love calling me. Second year, we can't say as an exclamation mark, yes. Where are the 4 on offense? Okay, defense. Jalen, Sweat. Where are the rest?
Yeah, everything else is not a
exclamation marks, not question
exclamation. It's not a. It's only Sweat and Jalen.
Okay, so
maybe Brisker. I put Brisker in there.
You'll put who?
Brisker.
I'm concerned. I got a question mark about his injuries.
Well, okay. Well, I give you that. You know I just think he crashed. I think he crashed Bandicoot. I think he just come in and he's a little too wild. But that's another conversation.
You need to hit the weight room in off season and not be such a crash test dummy. Yeah, you're right. Play under control. But I'm just easily assigning. If I went down this list and said question mark or exclamation mark, you'll be like question mark. So to your point, right now we got about 2.5, 3 dogs. We're about 5 dogs away. See what I'm saying? That's the reality of our situation. So now you go back and say, okay, you got Caleb. How do you get those dogs? You got 2 approaches to that. You can go through the draft still and get those dogs starting next year, and you can trade back. But you got to keep in mind, this timeline is moving. You got to change the tires while you got to change the tires while the vehicle's moving, right? You don't get to stop and be like blah blah blah. So all this time, those 3 years it took, 2.5, 3 years it took Caleb to develop. Montez Sweat got 2.5 years older. His contract got 2 years.
All right, he almost 30 at that point.
2 years older.
All right,
you know what I'm saying?
27.
Right. Boom. That's the reality of the situation. So you don't get to stop and be like, oh no, you got to build on the fly. So the question is, do you build through the draft to make sure everybody matches up? So when you take your swing, a la Brad Holmes, that everybody matches together. You know, the only answer to the way to do that right now is do this: free agency. And what does free agents equal? Free agents equal inflated, overpaid, older players. Money. And it's going to lead you to a situation like every other team where they end up having their books bad. They have bad books. And like Detroit going in the next reason, it's the reason why Dan Campbell said what he said yesterday. This is what I'm trying to sum this all up. He's not just saying that it's going to be difficult for them to get back because it's just difficult in football to get back. He's saying that, one, y'all's mentality, our mentality as a football team needs to be right, because guess what? This roster is going to turn over. My coaches are going to turn over. The league stands not for long. And guess what? I'm going to have to pay a bunch of people now to rebuild this money, inflated contracts, and my books are going to get messed up. The best thing that Ryan Pohl can do for this football team is do what he did when he set out to do the rebuild, was keep the books clean. The only way to keep us and put us in a position to be a perennial playoff and a contender team is to keep the books clean. Why do you think Bill Belichick kept giving all those stars 1-year contracts?
It was a reason.
Bro, Bill, pause. Bill was bringing them in, breaking them off, and leaving the money on the dresser. Pause. He was breaking them off. He'll break them off for 1 year and be like, hey, dog, I'm good. I got mine. I feel good. You get yours? Too bad for you. I'll talk to you later.
Literally, that's what he did.
Bill was like smoking a cigarette after he was done. All right, you done? All right, cool. All right,
see you Tuesday. That's what he did.
Regular appointment?
Regular appointment. All right, bye. That's what he did, though. That's exactly what you
doing. Our regular Tuesday appointment next week? Okay, cool. Peace.
Okay. Peace. Hey, that's what you have to be like.
Dirty old man.
That's what you gotta be like, though.
That's so man, come on, man. Let's go. See, this is why I like YouTube, conversations versus Twitter. Listen, y'all realize my strategy by now. Yeah, if we get Caleb Williams and we win the Super Bowl, what's gonna happen?
We all gonna celebrate.
We gonna be in the streets of Chicago. Best believe I'm flying to the crib. We're gonna be in the streets of Chicago at the parade. Probably some of y'all gonna be crying. Not me. I ain't go like that. I'm just letting y'all know I ain't crying over the Bears in the Super Bowl.
I ain't gonna lie, I might.
What with you? You know what I'm saying? I might get something in my eye, something. But
Oh, that's what you call it.
I might get something in my eye, but I ain't crying, Steve-O. But
Yeah,
we're gonna be out there on Lakeshore, bro, partying it up, bro. Quit playing. Same thing with Justin Fields. If Justin Fields is there, the quarterback understanding we win one, we're gonna be one partying. Keep that perspective, bro. It don't matter. Because we ain't gotta win a Super Bowl. We win a playoff game.
we gonna be happy. That's my whole thing. Like, that's been my whole thing with this whole thing. Like, don't sit here and act like you know what's gonna happen. We don't know what can happen. Like I said, Joe Flacco could be the quarterback for all we know next year. Like,
watch this though. That's funny, Steve, because the way the NFL goes, guess what? We very well could have a whole Nick Foles situation on our hand. And wouldn't that be the most funny thing ever? Right? Justin Fields and Caleb Williams, the quarterback throughout the season. One of them get hurt, and then we have a guy like Nick Foles come in and actually win the Super Bowl for us.
right.
That would be crazy funny.
That'd be hilarious. But yeah, that's my whole thing. Like,
Said,
don't sit here and act like we know everything. You might be hearing things. You might have your quote unquote sources, whatever the thing. Sources be wrong too. Let's just sit here, say what you gotta say. If you on one side, say you want something, but don't die on that hill. I don't care as much as I love on Justin. I'm not dying on the Justin hill. I ain't dying on no hill.
Right. It's just like
So
I said
that's my
the
whole
other
thing.
day, bro. Listen, I probably need to find a better thing to say, right? Because Steve,
Hey, I gotta say this because I'm tired of people saying that.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Mayhem, if he a diva with the fingernail and he cold here, he cold. Who cares? Let him do his fingernails. If that brings him joy, if that mentally helps him play through a game, I don't care if he get his toenails
I
matching
don't,
too.
I don't care if he wear panties under his dang on panties.
I don't care. I really don't.
These dudes do weird stuff anyway. They in the weird shit when they not playing football anyway. So
Right.
why does it?
Who knows what Justin does when we not looking?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk, bro. Like listen. We cannot. It's February. When 2 days?
Yeah.
What's that? 2 more days.
29th, yeah, something. Yeah.
Bro,
No, one more day.
February is a short month. We cannot do the whole month of February like we did January. But a little story time for you. Steve, I appreciate you, man. I don't take up all your time today, man. I appreciate you hanging out. You know you're welcome to come back anytime. We got to get Justin in here, man.
Bro.
Watch this. This show is probably not even gonna stay up. I'm probably gonna clip it down or something like that. Where half of this stuff is it. All the venting stuff, I'm probably gonna clip that down where it ain't up. So you know what I'm saying. I just like I like hanging out. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's kind of you like Yada just said. A great show ain't always got to be about sports every time.
That's it, man. That's why y'all know I'm real to this, man. I care about people. So, and I had this conversation I think with Julius earlier, bro. If it was about getting views and stuff like that, bro, I'll be clipping up 5, 10, 15 minute, 30-minute videos and
every day.
About me, bro. Yeah, this is my distraction too. So it is what it is, man. So I appreciate y'all for hanging out. I'm your boy, Coach T. That's my man, Southside Steve, bro. Until next time, bro. I'm probably not gonna do nothing tomorrow because I'm be prepping to get out of here on Wednesday, heading down to Mobile. Do some work. And I'm trying to get y'all some good content while I'm there. Hopefully, I get some player interviews. That's my main thing. If I can't get player interviews, I'm at least trying to talk to them and get them to answer some questions so I can bring that info back to you. Definitely want to link up with some scouts as well because I want to pick their brain on what they do. I know there's a lot of people going to be down there. Nick going to be down there. A lot of y'all, man. Steve, you got something for the people before we get out of here?
Hey, just make sure y'all stay tuned. Hey, follow us on NBA Central as well as Chicago Bears Central. And yeah, just stay
Chicago
tuned.
Bulls Central, Chicago
Chicago
Bears,
Bills. Yeah, for sure.
Chicago Bears 360. Shout out to my guys over the Windy City Breeze. Those
Bro.
guys, Bears Media Co.
Shout out Podcast, Bobby and C Dub. Shout out to them as well.
Bobby and C Dub. It's podcast partners and Hayes. Who else I'm forgetting? I don't want to leave nobody out, but they're gonna feel some kind of way. I left them out. Who got a podcast?
You got to hit them with the church. You got to hit him with the church and the resigning house.
Yeah. I'm closing.
I'm closing.
13 times. So, hey man, I'll check you out next time. Y'all know what it is. Till next time, it's beers up, head up. We're gonna do head up and bear down. Man, I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.